This is the Dixon Channel information you can use and fun this to see.
I'm Ed Pilar, and thank you for watching the Dixon Channel.
Good evening, Dixon. We're tough as dukes and duchesses, right? We don't melt like butter in this heat. We are grateful you are here. So thank you very much. Give yourself a hand for coming on out. Tonight we have the privilege, we are being recorded by WNIU. And it's going to be on broadcast one of the Mondays coming up. It will be posted on Facebook, whether it's this coming Monday or a subsequent one. So if you want to catch the performance in air conditioning, you can do it from your own house or car. WNIU 90.5. We're grateful that they're here tonight. All right, as is customary, there are raffles, tickets, and they're free. So if this is the first time that you're here, we have the young lady in the middle and she's waving her arms. So come up and get your raffle ticket. There is no cost, and there's some wonderful gifts being given tonight. We have a couple of vendors here for food. Christine's Kitchen is here, and then the Royal Scoop. So you have a variety of choices to select from tonight. We also want to express gratefulness for the anonymous gift and the Park District's cooperation. Isn't it nice to have the concrete pad and the benches for those who are sitting there? It's a nice touch, really nice touch. You know, pre-COVID, there were a lot of municipal bands all over northern Illinois. Post-COVID, a lot of the municipalities gave them up. We can be very proud that Dixon has maintained its support from the city, the Park District. Many times we use the schools. We are grateful as a band, and are you grateful as a public too to have that much government support? It's wonderful. All right, we got a great show tonight in a marvelous band shell, and we're grateful for those who really put their effort into this. The Dixon Municipal Band is under the direction of John James, and his wife, Kathy, a principal clarinetist, is the manager and does a lot of work. We also tonight want to express appreciation for our music librarians. When youth, give them a hand, and I'll tell you why. There are approximately 65 music stands, and there are 8 compositions. So there's about 540 different sheets of music, not including the multiple pages, that these music librarians have to get ready for 1 week. But it also means they have to take out 540 compositions from tonight's performance to get ready for next. Give them another hand. That would drive me crazy if I had to do 1,040 compositions. Incredible what we have in talent in our band. All right, we have a great night. It is going to be super, so make sure you get the raffle. And now we're going to tune, get ready for you. And remember, you're on the radio, so look good. All right. Well, that's our theme song. Another opening, another show. We're now going to ask you to stand and join with us as we do the Star Spangled Banner. One of the joys of being a municipal band is getting to play some of the finest marches that were written for the American Music Ensemble. Tonight, we're going to start out with John Philip Sousa's march that was dedicated and called the Thunderer. We believe it was an individual he wrote this for, but the name of that individual was never disclosed. But he was probably a Mason. We are thinking the Thunderer was dedicated to the Columbia Commandery No. 2 Knights Templar of Washington, D.C. Sousa had been knighted in that organization, and the Thunderer was Mrs. Philip Sousa's favorite march. This was revealed by their daughter Helen, who also surmised that the Thunderer might have been her father's salute to the London Times as well, which was known as the Thunder publication. Either way, the Thunder is a popular march often performed by military, community, school bands, and tonight the Dixon Municipal Band. Sousa, by the way, when the Freeport Masonic Temple building was dedicated, he came to Freeport, Illinois to open up the building. So Sousa has a connection to Illinois. The Thunder. One of those joys that we had growing up, for those of us who are past the age of 50, is that much of classical music was incorporated into TV programs or cartoons. The next one is Poet and Peasant Overture by Franz von Suppé. It's arranged by Henry Fillmore. The Poet and Peasant was composed in 1846 as incidental music for a comedic play involving romantic entanglements and inheritance disputes among peasants and landowners. The music captures the spirit of the operetta story, reflecting both the romantic and comedic elements of rural life. Its lively and dramatic orchestration quickly made the overture more famous than the play itself. Franz von Suppé was born in 1819, and as a young man in Vienna, he built a successful career as a conductor and composer. While you may never have heard of his name, if you like movies, cartoons, video games, odds are you've heard his music. This overture was famously used in Popeye the Sailor, 1933, and later in Bugs Bunny's Spinach Overture in 1942. Poet and Peasant Overture. You know, that last number, you can almost picture the damsel in distress on the stagecoach or on the railroad track, and here comes the hero. And so that music really captured it. The next one we're going to do is the selection from Annie. Charles Strauss and Martin Charin wrote it, and it's based on Little Orphan Annie from the 1930s. The plot follows a girl named Annie who's a plucky red-haired girl who dreams of life out of the orphanage, and one day a guy named Oliver Warbucks wants to spend time with an orphan for an entire week. So he sent his assistant, Grace Farrell, to find an orphan to adopt. Well, you know the rest of the story. The original Broadway production opened in 1977, ran for nearly 6 years. It spawned numerous productions in many countries as well as national tours, and won the Tony Award for Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical, Best Original Score, Best Direction of a Musical, Best Choreography, Best Scenic Design, Best Costume Design, and it's going to be played by the best Dixon Municipal Band in history. It was performed on stage at the Dixon Historic Theater here in 2004. So we're bringing it back. The selections you're going to hear tonight in this medley are It's a Hard Knock Life, New York City, You've Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile, Maybe, Easy Street, and I Don't Need Anything But You. But similar to Little Orphan Annie, we needed sponsors too. And so this is a great time to thank those who were the silver sponsors: the Kiwanis Club of Dixon, the American Leak Detection, Glenn and Debbie Hughes, Pastor Frank Berman, Lyle Muntean, Bonnie O'Connell, Huffman Car Wash, Rayner, Willett Hoffman and Associates, Ace Hardware, and Outdoor Center, Kathy Ferguson Allen, McDonald's. And so let's give the silver members of sponsors. We are like Little Orphan Annie, and we are grateful for Oliver Warbuck. Here we do the selection from Annie. Annie was based on a cartoon character, and she had hardship. But the next composition was a truly devastating event in a family's life. Many of you might know the hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul." It was written in 1876 by a man who lost 3 daughters when they, with their mother, was going across the ocean, and a storm took the ship under, and Horatio was in New York, and he got a telegram saying that his daughters were deceased. So he wanted to get on the next ship to go overseas to meet his wife. And when he arrived at the spot where they believed the ship went down, the captain called him up to the top level and told him, "This is where your daughters perished." And rather than having the adversity take him under, he wrote a very penetrating song, a hymn, that "It Is Well With My Soul." Philip Bliss was the music composer of this, and it has stuck in churches, sung at times of great grief. But what is amazing about the backstory of the Spaffords is that they formed a ministry in East Jerusalem called the American Colony. And for 150 years, it has been providing pediatric and soul care, psychological care to children of all faiths. For 150 years, their family could say, "It is well with my soul." one of the benefits of being in a band with the musical selections we get is that we go from dramatic to popular to marches, and it's a great opportunity to stretch us as musicians. Hey, talking about getting stretched up, it's time to make sure you have your raffle ticket. Because in about 2 numbers, we're going to be calling out some gifts and to a politician who a musician loved. Everybody give a hand, clap it out. All right. Okay, his honor. All right, one more number before we do the raffle selection. The number is called Choreography by Robert Sheldon. Choreography was commissioned by the Association of Texas Small School Bands for the 2008 All-State Band. Sheldon's choreography is inspired by dance movements found in contemporary stage, ballet, and theatrical productions, and it's written in an overture form. Choreography applies to human movement and form. Now in dance, choreography is also known as dance choreography or dance composition, but it's also used in other fields, including opera, cheerleading, theater, marching band, synchronized swimming, cinematography, ice skating, gymnastics, fashion shows, show choir, video game production, and animated art. Now, if any of you out in the audience have ever done any of those things, will you raise up your hand? Yes, we do have people who are involved with choreography. And we want to encourage you during the playing of this song, if you want to get up and demonstrate your success, we are open to it. All right, it's not surprising, considering this piece was commissioned by the Texas All-State Band, that you're going to hear some similarity with Aaron Copland's famous cowboy musical, Rodeo. So Dixon Municipal Band playing choreography. The merry Neapolitan tune sings of a young man who compares his sweetheart to a volcano. How would that go over in our modern age, ladies, if your sweetheart said you're a volcano, and invites her to join him on a romantic walk up to the summit? It was written to mark the opening of the first funicular railway on Mount Vesuvius. And within the year, the song had done the 19th century equivalent of shooting to the top of the charts. By 1881, the sheet music had sold 1 million copies in 1881. Since its premiere, the song has been performed by many classical singers, including Pavarotti, Bocelli, and Mario Lanza. This has been used in various animated works to evoke humor, nostalgia, or Italian flair. If you've ever seen these characters, raise your hand. The Muppets. All right, we're cultured here. Sesame Street. Aren't you glad we're neighbors? Okay, and in parody performed by Donald Duck and Goofy. All right, let's have fun with this song. You can even clap with us. Well, we have one last song, and normally Chris Hammett is the announcer. I'm filling in for him tonight, and this will probably be my last time to be allowed to do this. So, since WNIU is here, I'm going to announce this as if I'm applying for a job there on classical music. Stay awake. Eric Osterling was an American composer, arranger, educator, who began his musical career as a professional pianist at age 14, accompanying and arranging music for several dance bands in the Hartford area. Sunburst, as this next composition is called, was written by a man with extensive background as a music educator, made him particularly aware of the specific needs of bands at all levels. Throughout his career, he faithfully and continually provided them with challenging and satisfying works. Now, as an ASCAP award-winning writer, his concert marches and band arrangements are widely performed by high school and college bands alike. So we're going to end tonight. We're very grateful you're here tonight. Thank you for coming out. We'll see you next week as well, 7:30 right here. We'll finish with Sunburst, Dixon Municipal Band under the direction of John James. Good night, everybody, and drive safe on the way home.
This is the Dixon Channel information you can use and fun this to see.
I'm Ed Pilar, and thank you for watching the Dixon Channel.